Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about self-love and the importance of self-love, the benefits of self-love, and how to continue to keep falling in love with yourself every single day. So if you were to ask me what self-love is, I feel like it is a total acceptance of you. It is a radical acceptance of looking in the mirror, looking at yourself with complete honesty, with complete honesty, and accepting and loving your wounds, your scars, accepting your beauty, accepting your smile, your joy, your body, and understanding that you are always an ever-changing and ever-evolving nature of a spirit and soul, and to always remember that you are worthy and so deserving of what you desire and what you know that what you want and what you deserve. So number one is forgiveness is for you and not them. Forgiveness is for you and not them, because when I would not forgive and I would hold on to that pain, it stripped me and it stole and it stunted my growth, my healing, my joy, my smile, and my laughter. You know, if you love me, you know I love to laugh. And when I would hold on and harbor those feelings of anger, hatred, guilt, shame, it kept me in an emotional prison. So I realized that forgiveness is not for them, because they could easily do what they did to you and not have a care about it and not care about it anymore. You know, it could never go through their mind ever again, but you're the one holding on to that, and it just stripped me. And when you know better, you do better. So forgiveness is for yourself too as well. Just forgiving yourself for going through certain situations and making certain decisions that may not have been the best, but when you know better, you do better. And at the end of the day also too as well, I suggest that you don't allow the past to affect your present. It's called a present for a reason. Well, the present. You know, it's called that for a reason, because it is a gift. This right here, right now, is the only thing that actually really exists in this moment. You holding on to the past and crying over spilled milk isn't gonna do anything. And you thinking about the future, yes, absolutely, you can take the steps right here, right now. So that's why the present is so important. And the only thing that you can take from the past is to learn from those lessons and turn it into wisdom. And forgiveness is for you and not them, because I know that I'm not going to allow somebody else's projection of their trauma and unhealing to affect me in my daily life. I just don't have time for it, you know? So that's number one. Number two is don't let people back in that had you messed up. Do not allow them to have access to you after they have clearly had you messed up. The great saying is, when people show you who they are, believe them. And that is so, so true. I can look back on my experiences, and when I was like, oh, you know, like, I'll give them a second chance, a third chance, however chances you decide to give that person. I've always been put back in a situation where it had me I remember why I cut your ass off in the first place. So I have learned, and that is a huge part of self-love for me, is not allowing people access back to me that clearly had me messed up, and you clearly didn't cherish, and you clearly didn't have any respect for the love that I gave. And so you have to move on, you know. And that brings me to just having boundaries and implementing solid boundaries is such a sacred form of self-protection, and also self-love and self-respect. Because when you have those boundaries, and even when I look at my experiences, when I didn't have boundaries, it drained me. It had me looking at myself in a different manner than what I do today. And now with me implementing and standing on solid boundaries, I am now empowered empowering myself. I'm honoring myself. My intuition will never lie. You know, your intuition will never lie. Your gut will never steer you the wrong way. And so with me honoring that and not suppressing that because I wanted to be a people pleaser or I didn't want to cause conflict or, you know, I now honor myself. And when my body is telling me something, I honor that and I move by that very, very much so. And something that I'm implementing now and just doing in my life is saying no without guilt. Before, I would say no, but have this guilty conscience in the back, like, oh, Ash, you know, like, you could have did that, or, you know, I could have, you know, helped them out or something like that. And now I'm saying no with love. No with love is completely different from no with guilt. Because no with love, saying no with love is, yeah, I still might love you and I still maybe, you know, wanted to do this for you or, you know, do whatever you're asking me to do. But at the end of the day, if my intuition is telling me no, I love myself enough to say no to you and not forget about what my body was telling me, you know? So number 3 is taking accountability. At one point of my life, I definitely had victim mentality, and I think that that's just when you don't want to look within yourself and be honest with yourself, and you always want to like put blame on somebody else and like, oh, well, you know, it was my parents or it was my family or it was my friends or it was my romantic relationships. But it gets to a certain point in the day where it's like, at the end of the day, you're just gonna have to take accountability. And if you don't take accountability, you can't heal anything that you don't acknowledge. So if you're not being completely honest with yourself, don't expect to heal that. Don't expect to grow from that. Don't expect to expand from that and ascend from that, because you can't even be honest with yourself. So that's that saying where it's like, if you can't even love you, if you can't even be honest with yourself, please don't expect anybody else to be honest with you, you know? So yeah, with me having that victim mentality and not taking accountability for the things that I might have put myself in willingly, and in the situations where I didn't put myself in that willingly, I had no idea that I was hopping on this damn roller coaster. But regardless, you stripping away that victim mentality, it allowed me to dive deeper into shadow work. It allowed me to journal and to go to therapy and to dive deeper into those crevices that I was suppressing because I didn't want to acknowledge it. I didn't want to be honest with myself. And people definitely look at like the healing journey as like, oh, it's rainbows and sunshine. It's not rainbows and sunshine. Absolutely, when you make it through the damn storm, you know, it will definitely be, life will definitely get easier, because it's that saying where it's like, life doesn't get easier, you just get wiser. And life will probably always be hard. You know, we'll always have situations and problems and issues and healing that we need to go through, but it's always for the betterment of you. It's about changing your mindset and not looking at it as life is trying to punish you. Life is trying to love you. Life is trying to show you how incredible you are. That's a whole different topic too as well. Just talking about what I feel like God and the universe is trying to show you when they put you in these crazy ass situations. But to bring it back, when I took accountability, I dove a lot deeper into shadow work and journaling and getting into those crevices that I was, you know, when you are being very honest with yourself, it's very uncomfortable. Everybody cannot walk through that darkness that you experience. But I'm grateful that I have walked through that darkness of seeing parts of myself that I suppressed and parts of myself that I did not want to be honest about, because it's led me here, you know. So, and with that shadow work and doing that journaling and going to therapy, it allowed me to reclaim my power versus giving my power away. Because when you have that victim mentality, you're basically giving your power away, you know. And with me taking accountability, you know what? Yeah, yeah. I'll take that on. But that's me reclaiming my power. So, um, yeah. So with that too as well, with you taking accountability, I definitely feel like it helps build self-awareness and emotional intelligence, because now you are able to see your motives, your actions, your triggers, and your patterns to then identify, you know, okay, clearly I keep doing this, which makes me keep attracting certain situations or certain environments or certain people that I may not really even want to keep bringing into my life. But if I don't take accountability for that, then hey, you're going to be on that roller coaster for God only knows how long. You know, but with self-awareness, it has allowed me to grow emotionally and spiritually, and just seeing that my thoughts create my reality, and my actions as well create my reality, and they also have a ripple effect into those that I encounter on a daily basis too as well. So with that, you know, make sure that you turn your lessons into wisdom, you know. And with me even realizing that too as well, I go through experiences and I ask myself, you know, okay, what did this lesson teach me? You know, what did this want to show me? And if it does present itself to me again, how am I going to move differently so it doesn't present itself in my life again? So, yeah, like I said, it allowed me to get off of that same situation, different body roller coaster. And I'm very grateful for that. So, yeah, number 4 is pour into yourself unconditionally, love yourself unconditionally, and be your number 1 fan. I feel as if you don't believe in you, who will? If you don't love you, who will? If you don't know you, who will? And that is the greatest gift of self-love, is that no one can take that from you. No one can take the time that you've spent pouring into yourself and loving yourself from you. That's the greatest gift for me personally about self-love, is that if no one else is there to cheer you on, you always have you. If no one else is there to pour into your cup, you always have you. And there's no need for external validation or any desire for external validation, because I always got me. I'm always pouring into me. And God and the universe is so incredible, because when you do show that on a consistent basis, and that's actually how you are, you will attract those that do that love you, that will pour into you without any jealousy, without any evil eye. When you are genuinely giving that to yourself, God, the universe, your higher self, whoever you speak to, pray to, talk to, they will bring that to you. Truly. So that is what I will say about pouring into yourself and being your own number 1 fan. Number 5 is showing yourself grace and gentleness. And so when emotions like anger, guilt, shame pop up in your life, it is best to not suppress those emotions and give yourself the space to be able to feel those emotions, and express those emotions, because the last thing that you want is to suppress that, because they just bubble and they fester, and you end up exploding on the wrong people, or at the wrong time, or in the wrong environment, crying in the club, No, this is time for us to, which I've definitely been there before. I've definitely cried in the club, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, and looking back at it, at one point I was like, oh my gosh, Ash, like, why did you do that? But that is what I'm emphasizing. When you don't give yourself the space and the time and the freedom to feel that emotion, you suppress it, and then it comes out when you don't even want to express it in that moment in time. And then don't add in, alcohol, or, don't even add in any of that, so no. It comes up in your life, you take the time. If you need to go into another room and sit and cry, then you go and do that. If you need to ride in your car and drive on the highway and blast drum music and scream, then you go ahead and do that. We're not suppressing our emotions anymore. No one has time for that. No one does. And at the end of the day, you're a human. You're meant to feel these emotions. That's part of the experience. That's part of our lifetime in this lifetime. So there's no need to suppress it, but it's very important to use them as signals. Don't allow them to control you. Don't allow them to be dictators in your life. They're meant to inform you. A situation happens and it might bring up anger. Okay, well, I don't like this. But that doesn't mean go and do something that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life, or end you up in a situation where you don't want to be in because of the small moment of anger at a small moment of your lifetime here right now. So they're meant to inform you. They're not meant to run you. And also, if you really want to take it a step further, you can use those emotions that you feel, and the power of alchemy will allow you to build up that momentum and push you forward. So for me, I've turned my pain into power. Absolutely. Taking all the pain that I have felt and the misunderstanding that I have felt, and I have turned that into my power. That is something that nobody can take away from me. When those emotions of anger pop up in your life, who's to say you can't create a number one song, a number one hit song, because you used that powerful emotion of anger and you then transmuted it into a number one hit song. Who's to say you didn't take that guilt, instead of suppressing it, you say, you know what, let me go ahead and paint. And now you just created a masterpiece that now lives forever, God long, because you took the time and made the conscious decision to not suppress your emotions. So that is what I love. I love alchemy so much. And that's what I have to say about step number 5, lesson number 5, and just in general, So number 6 is saying positive affirmations. When I first began my spiritual journey, my healing journey, my self-love journey, it was 2020 after a terrible, oh my gosh, like a terrible relationship that just like shocked me, honestly, because I didn't realize that people could move like that and be like that with people, but we live and we learn. But one of the first things that I did was saying positive affirmations to myself in the mirror. I'm telling you, it sounds taboo, but literally do it for about 30 days. Well, I'll challenge you to do it for at least 30 days. If you continue to do it, then kudos, better to you. Thank you for joining the journey, because I started that in 2020. It's now 2025. I'm still saying positive affirmations in the mirror as I get dressed. And it in the beginning, it feels very taboo. It's like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like, I'm telling myself I love myself in the mirror as I brush my teeth. Like, this feels weird. But on day 30, you're gonna understand. And then it's gonna be like every time you pass a mirror, it's like, oh God, I love you. I love you. Thank you. And I seen this billboard yesterday, and it said, do it for your future self. And yes, in this moment right now, you might feel lost. You might feel broken. You might not have the mental self-love that you're capable of pouring into yourself. But do it for your future self. When you first start doing it in that mirror, yeah, it's gonna feel weird. I'm telling you right now. But in 30 days, you give yourself at least 30 days. So the power of saying those affirmations in the mirror is also you reprogramming your subconscious. So something that I also do as well is I'll go onto YouTube, I'll type in, positive affirmations, and there's such a plethora of, there's so many videos of, excuse me, there's so many videos of self-love affirmations, positive affirmations, and I go to sleep with them. Sometimes, not all the time, but definitely, if I feel myself getting ready to fall asleep and I'm like, oh shit, okay, let me go ahead and put this on, I'll definitely do it. It allows you to reprogram your subconscious. And so people think that it's your conscious mind that manifests and attracts your 3D reality. But it's really your subconscious mind. That's why they try to indoctrinate you at a very young age, society, family, different other things, even yourself, you know what I mean? Because you don't even know your damn name, you know what I mean? Like, you don't really know anything about the world and about you. And so if we can get into your subconscious mind, that's old programming that will probably linger on for a very long time if you don't really realize that. And that's something that is not taught either as well. But your subconscious mind is the one that is manifesting your 3D reality. It's not your conscious mind. So yes, definitely falling asleep with those affirmations playing in the background, and definitely getting up in the rising. The first thing that you do, say your prayers, do whatever you got to do in the rising when you wake up, but make sure during your rising routine, you're definitely saying positive affirmations to yourself in the mirror, having them play in the background while you get dressed, shower, do your makeup, shave, or do whatever, because it's really going to have a huge impact going forward. So yeah. And with that also being said too as well, letting go of perfectionism. And so with me dealing with being a people pleaser for a very long time of my life, I realized that people pleasing is a direct correlation to perfectionism. Unrealistic. Nothing is perfect at all whatsoever. And so at the end of the day, implementing and being, I've said implementing like 1,000 fucking times already, but it's okay. Just being your true authentic self unapologetically. This is what we got right here, right now. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your inner child to be your true authentic self unapologetically. Who cares about what society says? The trends are changing every single day. Who cares about what your family says? Because 9 times out of 10, they don't even like themselves. So are you really going to spend your lifetime here trying to please others or trying to mold into an imaginary box? Or are you going to break out of that mold and be your true authentic self unapologetically? Because you being your true self unapologetically is going to attract those that genuinely love you, experiences that you cherish forever, memories, people, places, things, you owe it to yourself, and you owe it to that inner child too as well. So, number 7, the power of rest and recharging. This is something that I touched on in my last video. And growing up, rest and recharging wasn't as pushed as much as how productive you are. And so even here recently, I stayed in. I'm usually somebody that's always like kind of have stuff going, you know. I'm always doing something, honestly. And here recently, I said, I'm not gonna do anything today. Like literally nothing. I already have food in the crib. I wasn't gonna get in my car. I wasn't gonna do anything. I was literally going to bed rot. Lay in bed all day, lounge around my house all day. And there was times where I was relaxed. I'm like, oh, this is fun, you know, like I like this, you know. But there would be moments where, and that's that old mentality trying to creep back in and pull you back, you know. That's that ego, like this is too unfamiliar. I don't like this. But I remember I was lounging around and I was like, it was these feelings of feeling as if I was being lazy, or like, girl, you know, you could be doing this, you could be doing that, you could be doing this, you could be doing that. But anytime those types of thoughts pop in my head, I immediately replace it with the positive. And that just comes with time too as well. That's not something that just going, you know, immediately just happen over time. But when that happened, I was like, no, like this is still me honoring myself, because first and foremost, I don't want to pour from an empty cup. I don't want to go through my daily life with a low battery charge, you know? So even in resting, I am still honoring myself. I am still loving myself. And in that moment too as well, when I changed that thought from a negative to a positive, I realized that my worth is not tied to how productive I am. My worth is not tied to that. I've already put in so much work and I've poured into myself so much that, baby girl, if you want to rest, baby girl, baby boy who's watching this video, if you want to rest, go right ahead. And we don't need to be pouring from an empty cup, from an uncharged battery. You don't deserve that. And that was very powerful for me, for just being like, your worth is not tied to how productive you are, you know. So yeah, that's number 7. And number 8, I want to touch on self-love versus self-sabotage. And so with self-sabotage, I feel like it's this fear of unworthiness and undeservingness that you feel, which basically has you push away great friendships, great romantic relationships, joy, abundance, peace, you know, peace of mind, a peaceful life, because you feel like you're not deserving of it. You feel like you're not worthy of it. And that's where it kind of ties into that old programming that might have happened when you were a child, or what society placed on you, or what your parents, or what your friend group, you know, or what you even placed on yourself. Take accountability, you know. But yeah, with that, you know, living in a state of self-sabotage, it's blocking everything that you really want to have in your life. And so versus that, from self-love, it allows you to embrace and be proud of understanding and knowing that I do deserve this. I am worthy of this. I am worthy of this unconditional love. I am worthy of, you know, being around my soul tribe, or being around my soulmate, or having these experiences, because I deserve it. You know, you ever come up on a whole bunch of money and be like, oh shit, you know, like, or you might fly across the country and now you're in this beautiful condo or hotel or mansion, Airbnb, wherever you are, and it's like, oh my gosh. Or you've gone so far and the people that you love and that you wanted to take with you didn't come with you, and you kind of look and be like, damn, like, I wish that they were here with me, or what happened, no, ma'am. So even implementing that self-love, I keep saying implementing, it's okay though, but even you having self-love and pouring into yourself every single day, I feel like you just make better decisions that just align with you better. You make better decisions that protect your peace of mind, your peaceful life. You make decisions and do things that nurture your growth. And you also do things and you do things that align with your true authentic self. So it all works out in the end. That has truly been the power of self-love. And number 9 is that the relationship that you have with yourself is going to set the tone for every relationship that you have outside of yourself. And so with that being said, what if the love that you have been searching for and looking for was never lost, only waiting for you to return back home to yourself? So that's it. Thank you. Love you. And take care. Bye-bye.